This is Easton in Bristol, home to the UK's most dangerous road. Over a decade ago, a documentary crew visited the area and dubbed Stapleton Road the most dangerous street in Britain. What you're about to watch is my visit to Stapleton Road. Unfortunately, filming was abruptly cut short due to me receiving serious threats of violence whilst recording. Stapleton Road has an extremely high crime rate, around 4.5 times that of the national average. And as soon as you arrive, there's a knife surrender bin. So the first thing you see as you pull onto Stapleton Road is a knife disposal bin. It tells you everything you need to know about the area really, doesn't it? There's a huge number of crimes that take place in and around Stapleton Road on the eastern area of Bristol. When you look into the types of crimes that are taking place, they're very serious. Every serious crime that you can think of takes place in and around Stapleton Road. Bristol as a city is struggling significantly with the knife crime epidemic that's sweeping across the nation. Over the last few weeks, a number of young men and young boys, sadly, have had their lives taken on the streets of Bristol. What do you think is causing this spike in knife crime that we're seeing across the nation? It's worrying. It's a scary prospect on the streets of the UK at the moment. You can hear the familiar sound of the sirens here in Easton. It's like the soundtrack of the city, honestly. It's almost constant, the sirens. I took a turn off Stapleton Road down a side street to explore the residential areas of Easton. I could not believe the amount of rubbish and fly-tipped items on the streets. Having researched the area for filming, I was aware of the issue, but shocked to see the severity of the problem on the streets. I was about to cut through the alleyway here, back onto Stapleton Road, but as you can see, it's been slightly blocked off by rubbish. See if we can squeeze past this sofa here. Honestly, the Stapleton Road area of Bristol is absolutely filled with rubbish. It looks like every corner has been fly tipped. We've got a sign here that says no fly tipping. Offenders will be prosecuted, maximum fine £50,000. Well, I don't think anybody's taken any notice of that whatsoever. Look at the state of it. Literally right below the sign. No fly tipping. There is a serious problem of fly tipping in the eastern area of Bristol. In fact, in Bristol in general. Look at the size of that pile of rubbish. Absolutely huge. I don't know about Britain's roughest street. It very well might be Britain's filthiest street. I absolutely love Bristol. It is my home city, but it's certainly gone downhill. That's undeniable. As I'm walking down to the main road now, it's just another enormous pile of rubbish in front of me. Another giant pile of litter. Almost taking up half the pavement. Absolutely disgusting, it stinks. I'm just walking the back streets now of Easton and I've just been warned by a local to go steady with my camera. Apparently there's been a spate of thefts and robberies taking place on the streets of Easton. I'm approaching one of the underpasses now in Easton and you can just see it's everywhere. See that? Piles of rubbish. Easton has always been on the rough side, shall we say, but nothing like this. It's definitely gone downhill since the last time I was here. It's absolutely filthy. Honestly, I cannot get over the amount of rubbish that's on the streets here. It's insane. Hit another load of rubbish. We've got 3 single beds there, just laid out on the floor. I don't think I've ever been anywhere as filthy as Easton in Bristol. Got a load of bottles there. Oh look, a few bottles of piss there on the floor. I've got a trolley filled with cans. It almost feels like I'm walking around a third world country with the amount of rubbish on the floor. This is Britain. If anyone's after a 32-inch Samsung flat screen, we've got one here on the side of the road. Somebody might be looking for one of those for Christmas. Well, here you go. Come down to Easton and come and grab it. So I'm back on the main Stapleton Road now after my warning from the local to go steady on the back streets due to the thefts and robberies. You just see the state of the place. It's just rubbish everywhere. Without your help and the help of sponsorships, I wouldn't be able to make these videos. So I want to say a massive thank you to Man to Sleep for sponsoring today's video. You may remember a few weeks ago I introduced you to Manta Sleep. Well, I'm 4 weeks into using my Manta Pro sleep mask, and let me tell you, it's fast become the first thing I grab before bed. My favourite features are just how comfortable the Manta Pro sleep mask is to wear, and the expertly crafted adjustable eyepieces that ensure you get a complete blackout. The Manta Pro sleep mask has me nodding off in minutes and sleeping better than ever. I used to find it hard enough getting a good night's sleep even in my own bed, let alone when I'm on the road, but with my Manta Pro sleep mask, I'm genuinely sleeping better than I ever have before. I'm so impressed, I've even got my children the Manta Kids sleep mask and they are loving it. There's a massive range available, including the Manta Sound sleep mask that has built-in slimline Bluetooth headphones. Head over to Manta Sleep using the link in the description. Whilst there, be sure to use my discount code JOEFISH to get 10% off. And if that doesn't sound good enough, Manta Sleep currently have their biggest sale of the year. When you spend $99, you'll get 15% off. And when you spend $149, you'll get 20% off. Check out Manta Sleep using the link in the description, or use my discount code JOEFISH to get 10% off. Massive thanks to Manta Sleep for sponsoring today's video. It seems as if every corner on Stapleton Road got a load of garbage dumped at the end of it. You can see all the food market stalls out. You can see all the various different food vendors from all around the world. I will say some of the smells coming out of these restaurants and cafes are incredible. It smells absolutely delicious. But having walked around the back of the restaurants and seen the amount of rubbish out there, I'm not sure I'd be eating from them. It's very clear there's a serious substance abuse problem here. The amount of paraphernalia that you just see walking along the street. Looks like we're getting right into the mix of it now, looking busier. I hate to ask, but it helps tremendously when you like, comment and subscribe. When I film content like this, I want it to go out to as wide an audience as possible. And with your help, we can do that. Thank you. You can see the lady sat on the wall behind me. There's many folk on Stapleton Road that are sort of sat around on street corners, clearly under the influence of something. You can see there's a lot of faces in and around this area that are struggling. Quite a familiar sight in and around Bristol to see caravans on residential streets. I have done a video solely focused on the caravan dwellers of Bristol. Bristol has more people living in caravans and vans than anywhere else in the United Kingdom. Bristol is the second most expensive city to live in outside of London here in the UK. The high cost of living and the high rents probably explain why you see so many people living in caravans. Somebody's old sofa. Another pile of fly-tipped items there. What we got? There's some plastic buckets and other various bits of litter. So it's a weekday, it's around 2 PM. Obviously I'm not expecting to see mad crime taking place in the middle of the daytime. Well, you might, but I'm kind of hoping that I don't. But what I have seen is a number of dodgy deals taking place. A number of men stood on the corners watching out.
Diverse area, you know?
Is that?
It's not bad, man. It's not bad. I grew up in Montpellier, so yeah, Easton and Fish Ponds was just my playgrounds, you know? Friends live here, so. But yeah, it's not as bad as it is, man. Little pot, it's like everywhere, you know? Everywhere has got their little place, but nice place to live.
I can hear some shouting and screaming taking place just around the corner. Let's go and have a look. Oh, there's some men drinking on the street corner, as you do. Yes, boys. I make videos, man. Oh, that's certainly a sketchy moment. Just got flagged down by those fellas on the corner, street drinking. Now give me a load of shit they did for walking past with the camera. They tried to intimidate me, tried to get me to go through my camera. They were trying to pull up my bag. Honestly, if I had shown weakness then, they would have took my bag and my camera, 100%. 100%. Crazy people. After the threats I received from the locals and knowing the recent wave of stabbings that have taken place, I decided to head back to my car, which was parked on the outskirts of Easton. This area of Bristol is really starting to resemble some of the areas in America that you see in documentaries, with the amount of rubbish all over the floor, the amount of open drug use taking place on the streets here in Easton. What's it going to be like in a few years' time? You can see one of the famous Caravan rows here on the outskirts of Easton. Bristol has more caravan and van dwellers than anywhere else in the United Kingdom. We've got a row here on a residential street. You can see more caravans on the outskirts of Easton. Well guys, that was Stapleton Road in Easton, the UK's roughest street. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, it helps me tremendously. I'll see you on the next one.